Hello and welcome to the Philippines. This video we're going to discuss tipping in the Philippines in general, and especially Christmas tipping, as we're getting, here it is December 2019, we're getting very close to the Christmas season. There's lots of opportunities to tip to show your appreciation. I am finding that staff in the condo I live in are making themselves more available, smiling more often, being more helpful. And I live in Cebu City, so the bigger cities, uh, different parts, different regions of the Philippines will have different customs, I'm sure, as far as giving tipping. I know even in the USA, there are parts of the USA, it's very common to tip your mailman, your paper delivery boy, that back when papers were delivered, newspapers, your milkman, back when milk was delivered to your door. Some areas that's very uncommon, some areas it was common. And anyway, you get opportunities here. You've got some kind of a dance band in a mall. This was last year, and of course I tipped them. They put on a great little performance there. Do you want to tip? Do you have to tip? Of course you don't have to tip. How much should you tip if you choose to tip? I've asked a number of people that, and I'm really looking for a lot of input from you guys, Filipinos as well as foreigners here in the Philippines, and any information about other countries as well. Gift giving within the family was very common where I grew up, but it pretty much ended right there. We didn't, as far as I know. I think my parents did tip the mailman. But here in Cebu City, a lot of foreigners here, and perhaps there's a little more aggressive stance here. This was on a ferry ride I took back from Iloilo over to Bacolod, and part of the crew got up, went around. They had a box with a hole cut in the top of it for donations, and I suspect that was for the crew's Christmas party, something like that. The second place I lived here in Cebu City was LaGuardia Flats 1, and I got to know the office lady there pretty well. She gave me a lot of good advice on different things, and I asked her what the custom was, and she said, well, some people give, some people don't. Most of the people are Filipinos in the building, but there were a few foreigners. She says that normally people just put some type of gift donation in a white envelope, give it to the administration, and then it is used to help pay for their Christmas party. And there's extra money. It's given out to the employees. So I added up the number of employees, and in my mind I decided on the amount I would give. I put that amount in the envelope, gave it to them. I know they got it because many of them thanked me after Christmas. There's one place I lived at for a little over a year, and I was rather unhappy with the responses I got during that year when I made requests for different types of things. And I chose not to give. I just wasn't in the holiday spirit, and I wasn't happy with everything from small, simple requests I made to the office. Nothing got done, as well as maintenance was often not properly trained, didn't have tools to do jobs that they would be required to do, and even suggesting that I give them my tools. So I decided not to give at that point. I asked a Filipina friend that I've known for a couple of years, who is a management and a company owner, and asked her what her custom is and how much she gives, and she said she usually gives gifts between 50 and 70 pesos, so $1 or $1.50 basically, and she generally gives gifts instead of cash. That's just what she does. So you can do that. You can go out and get different gifts. You could get anything. You can get a lot of these Filipinos are always out of load. You could get load cards for their phones, their cell phones. You could get gift cards for different restaurants, Jollibee, that type of thing, for discounts on food, or nothing at all. I have been approached rather aggressively the first year I was here. A couple hobble drivers that maybe I used twice, and they recognized me, came up to me and said, "Hey, where's my Christmas gift?" And they were expecting 100 pesos, and I just shrugged it off. I suspect that there are more conservative areas and areas in the Philippines that have different customs, different expectations, and one of the reasons, I guess, that Christmas kind of it has been changing. It has been one of gift giving and a holiday spirit to more and more a materialistic, uh, people expecting gifts. And I don't know, sometimes that gives me a little bit of a bad attitude, I guess. If you're wealthy, you could give everybody in your sphere of influence a pig or a fish or you name it. Get it at the market. If you're on a very tight budget, then you probably shouldn't be giving out very much extra cash unless people are very close to you. I have a friend who's involved in, I think it's Zumba exercise classes, and he was such a nice guy. He sponsored a pizza party, a pizza Christmas party for everybody there, and everybody had a good time. So that's something you can do also. And I and many people are looking for feedback from many of you who have those experiences here in the Philippines about giving and who do you give to and different amounts that you might give, what you think's acceptable. Coming from other countries, of course, foreigners are often seen as rich people with deep pockets, but the fact of the matter is, many of us are paying a lot more for rent and for our food that we eat than many people here in the Philippines. We could live for much less, but we're not. We're paying those called them Kano taxes or more of the Western lifestyle, and it's costing us more because of that. So we don't have. Some of us don't have a lot of extra cash to be throwing around for parties and that sort of thing. But looking for feedback, I have determined to give to those employees of the condo that I live in now. And I've determined an amount, and I will put the amount in envelopes, and I've got a list of all the names now, and I will distribute those over the next week. Now, tipping in general, another topic throughout the year. And generally, Filipinos don't tip. That's kind of the general custom here in the Philippines. And a lot of people blame the Westerners for bringing in the tipping. And what you'll find is some companies now, like the coffee shops, I think Starbucks started it so many years ago, they put a tipping jar right there where you order and give them your money, pay for your coffee or whatever you're going to have. And in fact, I remember an interview many years ago. One of the Starbucks employees, when asked, said, "Yes, of course, the quality of your service, the quality of your drink is probably going to be affected by whether or not you tip when you order." You will find more and more companies starting to charge service charge, and it's often listed at SC. If you look at your receipt, and there'll be SC, and it'll be usually 10%. I've seen 8%, I've seen 5%, but usually averages 10% of your bill as service charge, and so that's included. I asked another foreigner at a Pizza Hut many years ago, if he tips and how much, and he says it's already included on your receipt. Look, and he's the first person who showed that to me, and I see it depends upon the type of restaurant. Different ones add that in, so be aware of that. And I've been at a bar where even though it's included in, the guys are pretty aggressive in wanting additional. The bartenders and the waiters pretty aggressive in suggesting that they want more than that as well, and that goes directly in their pocket, I'm sure. I generally tip about 10% when I tip, and I tip probably at least half the time. And you know, service is completely different here than it is in like the USA and some other countries. And other countries actually take offense at tipping because they're paid a decent wage, and they consider that an insult, is what I've read. It's not expected because they're paid the higher wage, and that's the job. And people say, yeah, they come to the table, they take your order, they don't smile, they're not nice, they don't chit chat with you. Well, that's not their job. They don't work for tips. In some countries, they're paid a wage to come over, take your order, bring your food when it's ready, and that's about the extent of their job. Um, but anyway, for instance, there's a Shakey's place I used to go to quite often, very close to where I lived, and I enjoyed the pizza, but the service was always really quite bad. Always had to go up and get my own condiments, and I'm not a person that's going to sit there for 5 minutes waving my hands trying to get somebody's attention. Uh, I get up, I go to the bar if I want to order something. I get up, I go to the restaurant part if I want condiments, and you know that's just, I get tired of waiting and waving my hands, so I just go and take care of the business. There are other things that are happening here in Cebu City, uh, and maybe other larger cities as well during Christmas, is that many more beggars on the street. You'll see, I've seen a couple things. I've seen the beggars being removed from the streets. The ones that you've seen there for months, those people are gone. But new beggars, homeless people, have come in from other parts, often from Mindanao. They come in by the thousands, tens of thousands, I think. And I think last year they even put up some housing for them. Used some old shipping containers, and they put hundreds and hundreds of families into these shipping containers. But you'll see them sitting on streets in different areas, close to banks, close to shopping malls. And it's a different group of people, a different tribe that's up here, hoping to make some money with donations. Anyway, I am looking for comments. I'm looking for feedback from your experiences, from Filipinos, from foreigners. And I know every country has its own cultures, and every family has their own cultures and customs as well. So anyway, looking forward to the comments. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe. Merry Christmas to all of you, everybody who celebrates Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody who doesn't, who celebrates other holidays as well. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and I'll see you next time.